All right, everyone good? So welcome. Again, thanks for covering Wake Forest football and just wrapping up the Clemson game. First, just a shout out to all the students and all the fans that made the trip down there. I think we had a bunch of buses go down and their support was incredible and we're grateful for it. At the end of the day against Clemson, we played a very good football team and we didn't play well. And Clemson was part of the reason we didn't play well. They certainly played at a high level and they came ready to play. On offense, we got off to a slow start. We had a bunch of false starts. We turned it over 3 times. Even though they turned it over 3 times, our turnovers were more costly. We twice turned it over on the first play of a series, and that led to 14 points for them. And a lot of times, the turnovers we got, we responded them by giving them the ball right back. And, so even though the turnover battle was 3-3, we ended up losing it by 14 points. Defensively, we certainly didn't defend the run well. We tackled poorly against good backs. And so we've got a lot of things to fix, and we need to fix them quickly. As we head up to BC on Saturday, I certainly have a lot of respect for Coach Hafley. I've known him for years. He was a GA at Albany after I was. So there's a little bit of a connection there with where he started his career. But he's a very good football coach. He's done a great job there. You can see his impact on the defense. They're one of the top defenses in the ACC in terms of total defense, scoring defense. They're only giving up less than, I think, 340 yards a game. And they've got a number of really good players. And on offense, they got their quarterback back. And when Jerkovic starts for them, they're 5-1. And so, they started out 4-0. And then, they won a game with the backup. And then, they got into the meat of their schedule. And since he's back, he's only lost 1 game. Garwo, their back's about to go over 1,000 yards. Zay Flowers is one of the most dynamic, explosive receivers in the ACC. The amount of explosive plays and deep balls that he makes is incredible. And, BC's always got a big physical O-line, and it's no different this year. So, we've got to go on the road. We know we win 1 game and we're in. And, we're excited to head up there.
Of the team and the way they've been able to respond to things, and as a coaching staff, when it's pretty cut and dry like this, you win and you're in a championship game, you have to put any work into maybe keeping things from getting tight on guys with that ahead of them.
I mean, Ethan, there's only so much you can say and do. I mean, the players know what's at stake, right? I mean, it's if you win, we're in the ACC championship game, and that's one of our goals here is we want to win the ACC championship. And to win it, you got to get in the championship game. And for us to get in the championship game, we need to win this week. So no matter what I say or do or present it, the players know what's at stake. Now, you got to go 1-0, and you got to improve, and fundamentally you got to be better. But we're they're smart players. They've been here. They know what our goals are, and they know what has to happen for us to win a championship.
Along those lines, Dave, what do you think is the key to get the team to play with just like the perfect emotion level? If you look back to the UNC game, I think even you argued that maybe they were a little bit too amped up for that one and played a little bit out of themselves at times. And then like in the Clemson game, they forced that fumble, and there really wasn't much of a positive reaction from the team. It was kind of a little bit more subdued than we used to see. How do you get just that perfect balance?
Well, I mean, I certainly agree with you in the UNC game. We were a little too hyped up. Clemson, I think we just got outplayed. I thought our sideline exploded when we got that fumble, and here we go. We got a chance to tie it up, and then you go out there 1 play later and give it right back to them. That's a momentum killer. So I don't think it had anything to do with how emotionally we were amped up. I mean, we were excited to play that game. And it's the first time in years that we got to halftime against Clemson with a chance to win it. It was a 1-score game. they got the ball, we got a stop, we got a turnover, and we failed to capitalize.
Warren, he pops up on the Royals, and you talked about him a few times over the season. Just to see him get that recognition, what's that like for you?
Really happy for him. I think he deserves it. He's done a fabulous job here, not just this year, but over 8 years of designing, developing, implementing, recruiting, and he certainly deserves that recognition.
Coach, looking at BC, what are you guys going to have to do? To just go up there and get the win.
I think we can't turn the football over. We got to execute better in the red zone on offense. We got to have good balance, and on defense, we got to find ways to get stops. We got to defend the run. We got to defend the deep ball. They're a team that can run the football extremely well. They're big, they're physical, they've got good backs. They've got a great play-action game. Zay Flowers, and they've got some other receivers that can get the ball deep on you. So it's, we're going to have to play really well.
You mentioned turnovers a couple times already. If I remember correctly, it's 8 turnovers over the last 3 games for your team.
We had 7 in the first 8 games, and then we've had 8 in the last 3 games.
Is there any particular thing you pinpointed that's led to this?
It's.
After you guys have caused a turnover on the other side.
Well, I think part of it is we're playing some of the better defenses in the league. So we went into North Carolina State game, and they were the number 1 scoring defense in the conference, and then we scored 45, so then Clemson became the number 1 scoring defense in the conference. So when you play against good defenses, they're going to have their hands on the ball more. And I think part of it is the guys that usually handle the ball for us, Christian Beal-Smith and Justice Ellison, aren't playing as much. We had, we had a really bad fumble, and then we had an exchange issue. And does that happen with Justice and Christian? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Who knows?
Speaking of, is there anybody we should expect back this week?
We'll see. We're trying to get guys back. If guys can possibly go, I can't imagine they're not going to find a way to get ready for this week's game.
It reminds me, early in the season, you talked about, as you approached injuries and people potentially coming back, you'd said often, well, if this was a championship game, they would be available because you were being erred on the side of caution. Well, this is that game, right?
We're not erring on any side of caution this week. If they can possibly go, they're going. And the effort of some of these guys to get themselves back, you can tell there's urgency.
Coach, it's fair to say it'll be a pretty packed house at BC. How do you feel your team has grown this season, playing on the road, especially where you didn't exactly have those atmospheres last season?
Well, I'd be surprised if it's a packed house up there. It's anytime you play at Thanksgiving weekend, when we're home on the road, usually these crowds are a little bit less because you don't have any of the students there. But hopefully there's a good crowd. We'd love a lot of Wake Forest people to show up. And we've been solid on the road this year, but we haven't won our last 2. And probably the last 2 games have been the 2 loudest crowds we've played in.
How do you think Christian's handled, the not getting to play and still trying to make an impact on the running back room and team?
He's grown as a leader, and he's still very involved and very engaged. I think in the past years, if he wasn't playing and hurt, he might not be so engaged. But he's done a great job of staying active and excited before the game and always around his teammates and communicating.
Is he one of those guys that you're kind of referencing, like really trying to fight back to get in there?
He is doing everything he can to try to play, so we don't know if he can or not, but if he can give us anything, I know he will.
What was the message to Christian Turner after the fumble? Because it seems like he sat for a few series after that.
Well, we know we need him, but the way we teach fundamentally holding a football, he didn't do it that play. So you got to protect the ball. The ball is the program. We have it all over here. So chin it, tuck it, don't switch it, hand it to the official. And that ball was not chinned, it was not tucked, and that's why it came out. And if we're going to give you the football, you've got to protect it. There are sometimes fumbles that are good fumbles. That was a bad fumble. That ball, it was carrying it low, and the tip was down. So it was not a good turnover.
How did he handle that message?
He got back in there and played, and he's practiced well this week, and we need him. So he's got to respond from that. He fumbled it earlier in the year, and that was a little bit of a wake-up call, and then he did it again. So he's going to play. He's going to get the football. We have confidence in him, but like any back here, if we hand you the ball, you better protect it.
Remember Matt Coburn having an early career fumble, and then he went like so many reps with that one.
I hope that's the case. But that fumble was in our game up there in 15. So that was the high-scoring affair, that 3-0 that we won. And we were in our 4-minute offense trying to close out the game, and he coughed it up in their territory. So,
You always count on me for the good memories.
yep, good memory. We ended up winning the game, but he didn't get the ball for a while after that. So, all right, thanks everybody.
Coach,
Yeah.
what's your favorite Thanksgiving dish and why?
I've talked about this before, but my favorite Thanksgiving dish is the leftover hot turkey sandwich. White bread, white meat turkey, salt, gravy all over it, add the other white bread, gravy all over it, nuke it for about 30 seconds, minute, nice and piping hot, and then put a little bit more gravy on it. So the main ingredient is gravy. The second ingredient is white bread, and then just enough turkey, and that to me is better than the main dish.
Fixing, you don't use cranberry sauce as a layer? Or?
No, I'll get a little bowl of stuffing and put a bunch of gravy on the stuffing. So the theme here is I love turkey gravy.
Thank you.
So, but that the after meal of the white bread hot turkey sandwich, I prefer that to the main dinner. So I undereat the main dinner just so I can eat that next dish a little quicker. Anytime you get me talking about food, I get really passionate. So, yeah, all right, thanks.